Okay, so let's have a look at what is new in PureDisk 6.5 and how it can be leveraged in an existing NetBackup environment. Let's have a look where we can use the PureDisk 6.5 engine into this existing environment. So we have this NetBackup master server with these two media servers. Now, how can the deduplication be leveraged? And this can be done on the media server itself. So with NetBackup PureDisk 6.5, you actually can enable those media servers as your dedupe engines. So that means that this media server all of a sudden can dedupe any incoming data stream from your NetBackup clients and store it on one PureDisk pool, which is, of course, our PureDisk repository where all that dedupe data will be stored. So if you look at this picture here, what is the biggest difference with VTLs or with other dedupe appliances is that the dedupe now happens one step closer or one level closer to the client, because it doesn't happen on the real backend, but it happens on the media servers. And those media servers are scalable. So you can actually scale up as you go. So if you require a bigger throughput, you can actually scale up by adding more media servers. The other benefit is that this PureDisk pool is actually owned by NetBackup. So you can use the extra functionality that's available in the PureDisk pool, such as optimized replication, to actually create an extra offsite copy, but then in an optimized way. So basically, if you look at your infrastructure, you can have a DR side where you have a similar PureDisk pool installed, and this PureDisk pool can then be used to store offsite copies on. So instead of sending over that full 2 terabyte image over your WAN connection, you basically leverage the PureDisk technology to optimize this traffic and to optimize the way the duplication process is done. So instead of sending this 2 terabyte, you will end up in sending maybe 20 gigabytes, and all owned by the NetBackup master server. So now that we've seen a little bit more about this architecture, let's do a quick demo and show you how it's done in the administration console. So what we see if we go to the administration console, if you look under storage, you will find different storage units available. Those storage units represent a container where you can actually store data to. Now this container could be a staging disk, could be a tape library, could be also a PureDisk pool now. So if what we can do here is we can actually create a new storage unit, but then direct it to the PureDisk pool. So let's have a look. Let's create a new one, and let's give it a name, PureDisk DSU Data Center Primary. So this is a PureDisk pool that I've installed in my data center, and I also have a PureDisk pool installed in my disaster recovery site. So let's select PureDisk. You can see I have one pool which is called PureDisk Pool Data Center Tucson, and I select which media servers are able to control this PureDisk pool or this storage unit on this PureDisk pool. So what this means is that, like I said before, you can actually scale as you want to, so you can grow as you go by adding multiple media servers, and by selecting more than one media server, you basically load balance that incoming traffic from your NetBackup clients. So now let's have a look at how you can create a storage lifecycle policy that uses these storage units to offer an optimized duplication. So let me go and create a new storage lifecycle policy. So what we can do is we can actually create one that is called storage lifecycle primary to DR, add a first rule, because remember the storage lifecycle policies, it's actually more of a template where you define the different flows of how your data moves over your different storage tiers. So what we can do is we can create a new one, and the first rule will always be a backup rule, so where you define where the first copy is stored. So let's create a backup that is stored on the PureDisk pool in the data center, so data center primary in this case, and then we'll give it a retention of 2 weeks. Okay, so that means that the first image or the first backup that or the first copy of the backup will be stored for 2 weeks. Then what we can do as well is we can create a duplicate, and this duplicate can be stored on the PureDisk pool in the disaster recovery side, and we'll keep it there for 1 month. Now, let's save this. Okay. So after saving those two rules, what actually happens is the first copy will be stored in data center, and an inline deduplication will happen on the media server. The first copy will be stored on PureDisk pool number 1 in the data center, and right immediately after that, a duplication process will kick in and create an extra copy on the PureDisk pool in the disaster recovery side. So now we save it, and we have our new storage lifecycle policy. But instead of waiting, what I'll do is I'll just show you one of the stats of an existing backup that we've run. So let's have a look at one of those backup statistics here. So let me open the PD_CVS store. So we backed up the user directory, clicked on detail status where you can see what the stats are. And you can see easily here that if you go to the right, you can see that we have 99% deduplication rate. So this is just the inline backup. And that's where you will see a lot of deduplication optimization. Okay, so you just saw a quick glimpse of how PureDisk is leveraged in an existing NetBackup environment. If you want to see more information, if you want to have more information on NetBackup PureDisk, please visit Symantec.com.